In his meeting with Catholic clergy, Pope Francis chose to address sticky issues that have dogged the Catholic Church. That of clergy who broke their vows. Addressing a meeting of over 10,000 clergy in his native Spanish language, Pope Francis asked them to live by their vows. In a passionate, compelling and candid conversation, he asked them to be symbols of humility. At the meeting, he was at home, his speech leaving his audience in stitches. It has been a refreshing and a kind of renewal, and as they go home, we sought some of the message and the take home that some of the religious here are taking from the Pope today. Sister, what was the take home message from the Pope today?
The message from Pope is that we be concerned with the families.
The apostolic life is very challenging, it's very difficult, and because of that he said pray. Then don't wait to be served, serve. And in fact, if you intend to be served, this is not your work. And he said, if you feel it's too much, go home.
Earlier, Pope Francis met leaders from different faiths where he emphasized on dialogue between Muslim and Christian faiths as a way of bringing an end to attacks that have been perpetrated in the name of God.
May
the Almighty touch the hearts of those who engage in this violence and grant us peace to our families and communities.
Saying the world is wounded by conflict and division, Pope Francis cited terror attacks in Garissa University and Westgate Shopping Mall and pleaded for a more unified front in fighting terror. The pontiff, who spoke at the meeting held at the Apostolic Nunciature in Nairobi, said radicalization of young people will be stopped if the two faiths work together.
I'm sure we in Kenya, as a religious community, will work together to accommodate one another in our institution.
The Pope later visited the United Nations Environmental Management Program headquarters in Gigiri, where he urged world leaders to come up with a strong agreement during the upcoming Papal climate change talks.
As I already said before the UN General Assembly, we avoid every temptation to fall into a declarationist nominalism, which would just assuage our consciences. We need to ensure that our institutions are genuinely effective.
Pope Francis has been very vocal on matters of climate change, which is substantively addressed through his papal letter to the world titled Laudato Si. Alex Kubasu, Citizen Live at 9.